Hi, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. So now that our client, our kiddo, is on break, I just wanted to go over some notes that I had. So during, like about 10 minutes ago, he had a behavior where he was asking for soda after you let him on break. He's just about to finish his break, but I just want to go over this really quick before you resume session. So he had asked for soda, and mom said that he had already had too much soda, and immediately, he started engaging in aggression. He started like pushing mom. He started having self-injurious behaviors. He was banging his head against the wall, and some profanity, which are all three of his target behaviors. And I noticed that when he started doing that, your initial reaction was like, "Hey, don't talk to your mom like that." And then you proceeded to grab him to try and prevent him from pushing, I'm assuming. So totally valid response. When a kiddo's aggressing towards mom or towards parents, like, I can understand how that could be uncomfortable. However, in his behavior plan, when we're addressing dangerous behaviors, we want to make sure that we're not like physically restraining the kid, just because we want to provide him as much autonomy, as much independence as possible. And we never want to, like, for lack of better words, like abuse our authority, right? Because we know we're bigger, we know we're stronger. We don't ever want to restrict somebody just because we can.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, to a certain extent, why that was your initial response. And you're a new hire. Like, I know you don't have too much experience with dangerous behaviors. This is like a lot to handle for your first day. This is your first day, right? Yeah. So first client ever?
Yeah.
Okay, so totally understandable. Before I provide any additional feedback, is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, well, the way I was raised, it's really not acceptable to talk to your parents that way or do any of that stuff. So I was just trying to de-escalate it. But yeah, I was just raised to where that's just not acceptable to do.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And I'm sure if we were like in a grocery store and we saw a kid acting like that, we probably would have been like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Aggression is never okay, especially even if it was the other way around, right? If the parent was hitting the kid, we would have been like, "Hey, that's not appropriate."
Yeah.
However, considering that he's diagnosed with a cognitive delay and autism, we have to be cognizant of how we approach the behaviors, just because due to his autism, we are seeing those maladaptive behaviors increasing, and so we want to make sure we address it in an appropriate way to try and reduce behaviors in the future. So I'm gonna go ahead and do like a quick role play to show you, like, if it ever happens in the future. We always look at the function of the behavior before we create any kind of plan. So the function of his behavior for the aggression was denied access, right? It was a tangible function, which means he wanted to access to something, right? Like the soda. And so the best way to not reinforce that behavior is to not provide access to that, but to provide alternative choices. So what I'm gonna do is I want you to pretend like you're Tom, right? So let's say mom's over here, and or let's say mom's right here in the front. So you're gonna go ahead and tell mom says no to you. Mom says no soda. So then you start pushing mom, right? And you're like, "I want soda. I
want soda.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna come this way, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, Tom, we don't have soda available right now." We need to have nice sense. We don't have soda available right now, but we do have juice or water. Which one do you want?
Juice.
Okay, let's go get you juice. And so we're redirecting him to an alternative behavior. You can sit down. That was great. Thank you. So we're redirecting him to an alternative choice, and we're reinforcing functional communication training, which basically just means we're getting him to use his words to pick something else, right? Like, soda's not available, but juice is also pretty sweet and tasty, right? And that's what's available right now. If he doesn't want juice or water, then you can just redirect him to a different activity. Like, "Hey, how about we play a game right now, and then maybe we can ask for soda later." Just finding some way to redirect his attention, so that way he's not so fixated on what he can't have. So we want to be mindful to never say like, don't do that, or you can't have that, because that's what they're fixated on, right? So if I say, no, you can't do that, all you're going to think about is what you can't do. Rather, we want to provide him with the tools to be able to, like, have something in his back pocket to say, like, hey, I can't do this right now, but I can do this or this, or I can have this or this.
Yeah.
So the reason why we do that is it's called a differential reinforcement of alternative behavior, to use his words. So basically, instead of having a behavior, we're going to use our words to gain access to the things that we want. And so the reason why we do that is just to decrease those maladaptive behaviors while also providing tools to increase the behaviors that are socially acceptable.
Okay.
So we can create, like, if you're comfortable with it, creating some sort of like developmental plan. We have these things called therapy observation checklists. So basically, I come in and I assess you like every week, depending on how many hours we have for the month, just to build on that skill, to try and make sure that we're always redirecting him to using his words, making sure that we're like fixating on the things that he can do, and encouraging him.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay, you did awesome, by the way. Like, I understand. It's great that your instinct was to prevent harm, right? You didn't want him to hurt himself. You also didn't want him to hurt mom. And so I totally understand why you did what you did. And it shows me that you have compassion. It shows me that you care for not only the client, but also for the parents. We just want to make sure that we build on that instinct a little bit more to not reinforce that behavior with attention.
good. Okay.
Okay. Well, great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your understanding.
Of course.